What we want to do today is set the IP addresses of a couple of devices that are currently on DHCP. Um, and we're gonna use a DHCP server and Festo Field Device Tool for this. So this is the network topology that I have here on hardware. So I have my computer, which has this IP address assigned, and then I have CPX FB36 from Festo, another CPX FB36, and finally a CTEU-EP module. All of these are running on Ethernet IP. So the problem, or not the problem, but the challenge that I have is that, so what happens if I have 50 uh, different 50 different components. In this case, I just have three, but to simplify this, you can use the boot P and look for each device, or you can use a cable provided by Festo and assign each device individually. In this case, I want to try a different approach. I want to try using a DHCP server. So this DHCP server, I downloaded it. I downloaded from this website, dhcpserver.de, and so I'm gonna run version 2.5.2. Um, so I already downloaded that. I have it here. I'm going to extract. So extract this. And then once I have it here, I'm going to execute this wizard. And so this is a wizard. I'll click next. And then here I have to select my local area connection. In this case, this is the IP address that I mentioned before, and it's important in this case that this is a static IP address. It is not on DHCP. So in this case, this is okay. It is disabled. And then just to check that the configuration was done correctly, I'm going to install this. I'm going to select this HTTP web server, and then I'll leave that like that. Click next. So here I can specify from the range of the IP addresses that I want to assign. So let's say if I leave it like, let me get this over here. So if I leave this like that, it'll probably assign 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3, or randomly. But let's say that I want to be very specific and I want my devices to be from 100 to 105, for example. Release time, in this case, 1 day is fine. This is just temporarily. Um, and what else? DHCP, we're not gonna do here. We're not gonna do anything there. So we click next, and then here I just hit this overwrite existing file, and then there's going to be a file generated in the folder that I have uh, this exe file. So I'll write ini file here, and we'll see that if I go back to this folder, now I have this file, which was written just right now. So if I double click on here, I'll see this file. So in this particular example, I'm going to add here a setting, which is going to be called port port underscore 80 equal 5500. Why? Because this will enable me to check check what's going on with the DHCP server over in a web configurator, or yeah, web visualization. So I'll save this, save, and then I can close it. It might work for you without changing this port. I just changed it because apparently mine is being used by something else. So I'll close that, already saved, and then now I can click next here. And then from here, I can click in here, admin, and then say yes. Once I did that, I get my DHCP server. So now before starting the DHCP server, I'm going to go into Festo Field Device Tool. Let me get this out of the way. So in Festo Field Device Tool, if I scan the devices right now, I don't have anything because these devices, these are factory settings right now, so they are on DHCP. They don't have any IP address assigned as of now. But let's click install here and then start, and I'll configure that. So it says that it is running and it is configured. So let's let's go back here and I'll open a new tab and I'll tap in set 127 exactly this. Execute that. Nope. And okay, it says that I don't have anything because if I go back here, oh, hold on, that's not the one. If I go back here to my file, I have a different port here. So right now I'm looking at 50555, but it should be 50500. So let me change that real quick here. So this is 500. So now I get into my DHCP server and I see that I have 3 devices or 4 devices right now. So this is an additional device that I have on my network. But right now, these are the 3 that I'm interested in. So these 3, so this is a CTEU-EP, this is another CPX FV36, and another CPX FV36. So if I scan again here, now I'm going to see the 3 different devices that I'm interested in. So what I can do now is I can tell it to always use this, use the following IP address, and then here I can say, okay, you're gonna be 10. So CTEU-EP is gonna be 10. And as you can see here, it says DHCP yes. And now if I select it again, it says DHCP no. So now it should boot every time with this IP address. Scan. Okay, so there it is, 10. DHCP no. Both of these are on DHCP active, so let's change those. Network, and you're gonna use number 20. Okay. And then finally, you're gonna use number 30. All right, so scan 10, 20, and 30. Let's see here, DHCP inactive, DHCP no, and DHCP no. Okay, so that's perfect. So from now on, I can, for example, I can stop this, my DHCP server, and remove it, and I can even close it from here. And just click finish. And so scan again, they're still there. Now what I'm gonna do is the DHCP server is not running anymore, right? So I'm going to reset my devices, just power it off. Scan, there's nothing. I'm going to power back on. The DHCP server is not running anymore. So let's see if they kept their IP addresses that I assigned manually. There we go. So they are running in 10, 20, and 30. This is a way this is a way in which you can use the DHCP server to temporarily run or temporarily assign an IP address and then manually change it to something that you want that'll disable the DHCP. Something that I do want to say is that you have to be careful if you have additional devices. Let me run this again. Admin, yes. Okay. Install, configure, and start. Okay, and let me show you, where is it? Here. So if I refresh this, okay. So what I do want to say is that in this case, I had another device. In this case, this was Point.io from Rockwell. You have to be careful because this device is on DHCP, and if you didn't want it to change its IP address, you have to either disconnect it or manually assign an IP address, or you can follow the same procedure from here, I guess. You will open RS links, and then let's see, RS who, and then from here it says that it is on the 101. So 101 here. Technically, I could go here into, where is it, module configuration, I believe, and then port configuration. Right now it's on dynamic too. So now I could change this to static, and then, I don't know, assign something. So I had 20, 10, 20, and 30. Let's say this is 50. And then apply. Yes. Okay. So I don't know if I have to restart it or no. It's here now. 50. So yeah, I mean, when when using the DHCP server, you just gotta be careful on if you have DHCP devices that you don't want to change the IP address to. You gotta be careful because this will pick up everything that's on the network. And also, this is a pretty nice tool here you can use. So you can see here the whole process of assigning the IP addresses. So for example, in this case, I know that this is a Festo device because of the MAC ID. This is another Festo device. Actually, this is the same one, right? This is the Rockwell device. This is Rockwell. This is the second Festo device. So I know that 36, this is a MAC ID for Festo. This is a CTEU-EP. And in this case, this is a CPX FE36. So as you can see here, this is the first one, first CPX FE36, and this is the second CPX FE36. And you can see here what is going on. So in this case, this is when it assigned the first IP address, second one, so 100, 101, 102, and 103. So going back to here. So that's it. It's another tool to temporarily assign an IP address and then changing it with a Festo Field Device Tool in case of Festo devices and RS links in case of Rockwell devices.